May you find happiness and peace, and may your home stand the test of time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary. Today I'll be reacting to another video from Kirk. Today's video is titled Leftist Students Cannot Comprehend How Open Borders Are Bad. So without further ado, let's get started.
I mean, just the whole environment with this and the cameras and everything, to me, is like not conducive to healthy conversation. I think it's inherently threatening to a lot of people.
I'm sitting behind the table with my
You're
arms
not physically threatening me. I don't think you, I mean...
But then if you're emotionally threatened, who cares?
That's my point. You're emotionally threatened by all of this. So
feelings mean nothing in the world. No one cares about how you feel except yourself and maybe your mother. Okay. Feelings are irrelevant.
Well, you're here sharing your feelings with everybody.
No, I'm sharing my logic, my facts and thoughts. I haven't told you once how I feel. There's a difference. Feelings and facts are two different biochemical systems in how the mind and the body operates. Feelings are based on emotion, rising blood levels, blood pressure, so on and so forth. Facts and logic are over long periods of time through reflection and through using math, science, and analysis of data.
Disagree.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not telling anyone how I feel, I'm telling people how I think. It's a big difference.
Okay.
Hey, I got a question.
Sure.
Well, actually, more just to say.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice to see you. Yes.
I seen your big, if you have your own like photo and everything like that. So I just wanted to comment on the hat and the shirt.
Sure.
Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I completely respect that. Live your life. But like, you know, a lot of immigrants do come here undocumented, and my family and I being one of them, and we contribute to the economy. You know, I'm a graduate student with 3.75 GPA, very smart guy. Mm-hmm. You know, immigration isn't perfect in a lot of ways, so I think instead of focusing on increasing border, I think it's definitely important to just focus on lubricating the immigration process to be fair, impartial, and quick.
I would agree with some of that, but jumping the border is not immigration.
Yeah, well, what do you think about the kids that didn't have a choice?
I mean, their parents should be deported.
And the kids?
I think maybe given a second chance.
Really?
Yeah.
The immigration reform bill talked about that. The left
Trump actually would have allowed the Dreamers to stay, and the Democrats opposed it. And why do I wear an ICE hat? Because the #1 population ICE goes after are child sex traffickers. They've arrested 14,000 child sex traffickers this year, 14,000. The second population that ICE goes after are MS-13 gang members, of which no one can make a moral defense that it's a good thing that the MS-13 population in America is growing. U.S. Border Patrol is called a racist organization. 56% of Border Patrol agents are Hispanic.
Well, I have no way to check your sources.
That's fine. You can independently check them.
Can I give some?
One second. Let me.
Good
No,
news.
there's a point. All I just want to say is that like undocumented people that came here when they were young or whatever age they came here, we do contribute to your economy.
No doubt, and I think there's a logical argument to be made that someone who didn't make the choice to go over the border should not be penalized for that at an age below a certain level. But it's not fair to the immigrants from Bulgaria and from Indonesia and from Central Africa who didn't have the opportunity to jump the border, that had to wait decades to get into this country, that will reward people that just happen to be closer to the border, broke the immigration laws, domiciled themselves here, call themselves immigrants when they're really border jumpers.
Okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion.
No, I appreciate it. Yes,
all I
but
just want to say is that we do contribute
I think that we could actually find common ground, that people such as yourself should be allowed to stay and be productive. But your parents did break federal immigration law, and there has to be some sort of recourse to that, or else it will never stop. Chicago.
Where are their parents from?
My parents are from Mexico, but the point is that that's the whole argument.
Originally, my great-grandparents came here from Poland legally. They didn't jump the border.
Well, I'm a proud Mexican, still a citizen and all, but thank y'all for your time.
Thank you for sharing your
Well,
opinion.
do you realize what happens, like, you go across the border? You realize it's a metaphor, right?
Yeah, I grew up like 15 minutes from the border.
Okay, so then why is it that 95% of Border Patrol agents support building a wall? Wouldn't they know best how to secure our border?
Where are you pulling that metric from?
95%?
The Border Patrol Association.
I've never heard that metric.
Okay, you could fact check anything I want. I encourage you guys to look it up. I'm sorry? No, 1 second, I want to...
Just 95% seems...
95% of Border Patrol agents.
Like that. Yeah, you can though.
Okay, but again, type in 95% Border Patrol agents.
That aren't dictated by math.
Okay, again, facts don't care about your feelings.
I
but
believe you that it's a fact. But
Wait, facts?
don't care about feelings. Well, Do facts bother you? Do facts bother you that 13,000 kids are trafficked across the border every single year, or millions of guns, or that 90% of heroin and fentanyl in this country come across the southern border, or that MS-13 in America is growing, which is predominantly illegal immigrants? Does that bother you?
I'm just more on the 95% of...
95% of Border Patrol agents support building the wall. Art Del Curo, who is the vice president of the Border Patrol Association, has publicly said it and released that data. You can ask yourself, what percentage of Border Patrol agents support building the wall?
I'd support something that helped my job security too.
Okay, but Border Patrol agents are threatened, assaulted, and killed on the front lines by people that come across the border.
This is such a false narrative. There's no war zone going on.
What about the
You know
people
how
in
many
Mexico,
people?
though?
It's like 0.001% that's
So-
MS-13, and Trump puts this narrative.
Okay,
oh,
so
all
let's
criminals
look
and
at the
rapists and
facts.
stuff.
So illegal immigrants
That is a
committed
fact.
54,000 assaults last year. There's
So
fif-
did-
there's
what
fif-
are the numbers of
there-
actual
there's-
citizens
there-
that committed worse?
But the illegals shouldn't be here in the first place. That's the point.
illegals.
Yes,
The illegals.
correct.
You know, we all live on the same planet. Borders
Sure,
are
so-
made up, man. The planet's dying.
Okay, so great
Like, we
question.
should stop
Why
caring.
do borders matter? Because borders are a distinction and a physical delineation of when good ideas start and bad ideas start. For example,
Are you saying the United States is the good side and the other
without
side
a
is
doubt,
the bad side?
our laws are much more moral than the laws in Mexico, without a shadow of a doubt. We have due process, we have cross-examination of witnesses, we have the rule of law.
Okay. I don't agree that the U.S. government system is better than the Mexican system.
The
in a lot of
Mexican
ways.
Constitution is not even comparable to the United States
I
Constitution.
don't disagree.
Okay, so would you agree that where North Korea ends and South Korea ends, that line means something?
I think
Or when-
that is
Or when East and West Germany
false
ends?
equivalency.
So if you believe in
North
a-
Korean border situation has no equivalent in the modern world.
No, but
I don't
I'm
think you
saying
can use it
borders-
as a comparison to the U.S.
Well,
Mexico.
borders matter.
I agree.
Oh, you just said they don't matter. We're all on the same earth.
They matter when it's a communist dictatorship state that literally kills
What
people
about
into the Holocaust.
what about a
Mexico's
lawless
not
country
doing
like
that.
Mexico that is run by
Say
cartels?
that again, sir.
Lawless.
Say that again.
Mexico. Okay, how many politicians were killed during the last election cycle?
Lawless.
580 politicians were killed in Mexico last year running for political office. The cartels run the country of Mexico.
Okay.
Can't refer to the whole place as lawless.
Mexico
Based
is
on-
generally not the greatest place in North America right now.
Yeah, so the solution is to not let them come here, right?
No, well, the solution is a lot of different things. First and foremost, you protect your own country because you care about your citizens, not because you hate the people on the outside. Secondly, if the walls don't work, why does Mexico have a wall on their southern border with Guatemala?
Are you saying that wall works? I don't know.
Yes, it does. It works quite well.
What are you using to prove that metric?
You know what
What
happens
makes
when
it
you-
work?
Well, because they have lower illegal immigration rates from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador coming in their country than we do with Mexico
I
and the United
believe that
States.
100%.
What
I don't
happens
think it
when
has anything to do
you know
with
what
the
happens when you
physical wall on
you know what
the
happens when you illegally immigrate to Mexico? You get deported back to your home country. Why don't we do the same? That's one thing to do right.
Sounds like we should let them over here to enforce
I'm pretty sure we
our laws
do
'cause
that
they have
all the
shit
time.
going on.
No, we have that we know of 15 to 20 million illegal immigrants in this country. And it's not fair to the legal immigrants from Bulgaria or from Ukraine or from Central Africa that had to wait many decades
Nobody
to come
needs
in
to
this country.
escape Bulgaria, okay?
Well, they
People
did. They
need to
did
es-
after the fall of the Soviet Union.
Okay, well, how about people in Honduras who are getting killed
Sure,
in the streets?
we should allow more legal immigrants into America.
Oh, okay.
Legal immigrants and border jumpers are two totally different things. Those that decide not to fill out the forms to come into America,
So if we get here, we instead of sending them back, we should keep their child and send the parents back.
I've never said anything close
Oh,
to that.
that's why are there 2,500 ICE kids still not
You-
united with their parents?
You mean the
All
50?
their parents got sent back to their home
So
countries.
first of all, the ICE facilities that you're talking about, most of their parents are not even actually their parents. They're being illegally trafficked across the southern border.
But see, this is how the arguments work. You just make these generic sort of
Well,
things.
it's not.
Oh,
It's
like-
not generic. The Department of
It is just
Justice. The
extremely
Department of
generic
Justice did an audit of the ICE facilities, and more than 50% of the people bringing these kids across the southern border were not their parents. They're being sex trafficked across the
I don't
southern
believe
border.
that the 2,500
Okay, you don't believe
kids
it.
in
Okay,
the-
so then we don't have anything to talk
Well,
about.
see, but that's where the debates break down in the modern society. I don't believe you, you don't believe me, and now I'm going to go to class. That's
Well, I mean,
life.
I said facts, and you
You're
haven't.
not enabling discussion and exchange of facts to a mutual understanding. It's just like
So how is it fair to the immigrants of the rest of the world that 15 million people illegally cross the border and should be
about being
rewarded for
fair.
that?
If you're coming from a country
Well,
where
no.
you're going to die,
Okay,
then we
that's
should let
exactly
you
right.
out.
Who cares about being fair? We should be equitable, right? In our immigration policy.
I agree with the things you're saying. I don't agree with the general metrics like 95% of them are MS-13 or
Okay, I didn't say
every
that.
single
I said
child who's alone,
95% of Border Patrol agents support building the wall when they were serving.
You do not make compelling arguments.
Thank you. Hello.
I just what you were going to say, because I know you
Honest,
were
great.
about to say something, and then you got cut off.
Which
Something
part?
about your parents being from Mexico.
Okay, so where I was going into addressing that whole thing is the reason I look at this and this whole immigration crisis and what was happening with the child separation is it's not from a political perspective. It's frankly a humanitarian issue that's been deeply exploited by, in my opinion, a very leftist agenda. So how I kind of got involved with all of this is I was working with an organization
nice to
called
see you.
Veterans for Child Rescue. So myself, I'm an Air Force veteran, and what they did is they're a non-political, non-partisan organization, and they're combating trafficking among children
That's
coming
good.
in from Mexico into the U.S. So the
Oh,
United
sorry,
States
I
has
see.
a system
No,
set
it's
up,
okay.
and it's called a T visa for victims that have been trafficked. They're not deported back to Mexico. In fact, they're kept here. I believe that when the media was using the term illegal immigrant, why were they just talking about Hispanics? Why are they just talking about Mexicans? That term is for everyone, not
Visa
just
overstays,
people coming
too.
from Mexico. And so I really kind of looked into voting demographics. So you have the Hispanic population, specifically Mexican Americans, being the largest voting minority in the United States and probably eventually going to be the biggest. How I got involved with all of this is I started reading the 2018 Human Trafficking Report, really seeing what was happening. You know, Tijuana just recently, within the last month, broke the homicide record because you have two factions of the cartels fighting over trafficking routes into the United States. So there was a system that, frankly, the immigration system is broken, right? And you had an immigration reform bill that was looking to pacify both parties, but then you had it shot down by government officials that were Democrat. For what reason? It wasn't helping anyone. It wasn't helping the people that they were saying that they stood up for, right? So that's basically why I'm here, and I'm so supportive of that. I don't believe that this country is unwelcoming to immigrants coming into it.
We're the most pro-immigrant country in the world.
But when
we're
you
taking
don't-
half the world's immigrants every single year.
But when you do it the wrong way, people are hurt on both sides. And you look at the correlation that we have with Mexico as our biggest trade ally, but you see what happened in the early 90s with the negotiation of NAFTA and how it actually increased the illegal immigrant population coming into the U.S. because they couldn't find jobs in population or jobs that were legal in their own country. So I think it is hand in hand, and it's our job to stand up for especially a population that people are speaking out on a political platform. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but when those children were being separated, in my opinion, it was for the right reason because you never knew who these people were bringing over. They said they were parents, but then you hear stories about people that are in Mexico right now, and they talk about how they'll give their children up in hopes of giving them a better life, and then they're just exploited because unfortunately children and humans are the only thing that you can resell. It's not like it can be confiscated and drugged. When you look at stories like Carla Hacito, who I actually spoke to her nonprofit, I'm trying to get an interview lined up on human trafficking, and she was raped 43,000 times. A lot of people don't want to hear about that number. They don't
Coming
believe that
across
it's
the southern
possible.
border.
They don't believe that it's possible, but women are forced. I don't care if you're pro-life or pro-choice, these people are treated like cattle. They have their children, if they do get pregnant by the Johns that are purchasing them, they've had them taken away, they're exploited. It's modern day slavery. And a lot of political officials exploit it. They say they want to talk about it, protect these people, and then they don't fix the problem. So that's why I'm here right now. And I appreciate that question. I hope that answered it. It's kind of long-winded.
Wow, I think this is the first time I've really heard this lady speak, and I feel she's making sense. Okay, sometimes we take decision without even thinking about the repercussion. You see, just like what she said. Sometimes when people are jumping the border, they actually give out their children, with hope of a better life. And I feel like that is the wrong thing, because you don't just let your children, go to a place that they're not familiar with. There's no one there to take care of them, and you feel like maybe they will be better or they will be okay. It's best for you to provide the little you can provide for them, and leave the rest for God. And I feel jumping border is never an option. If you want to go into a country, the best thing is for you to go there the right way, because you have more opportunity. You can register, let's say, open a bank account. You can, the country can have details of who you are. But when you jump the border, it takes you a longer process for you to become a citizen, and you will be hiding, every single opportunity or any single, what's it called, thing will make you scared. I remember when I came to Ghana new, I think it took me a little bit, I had like, I think 90 days period before I can get my resident permit. And after that, I actually called my parents because then I wasn't working. This is what we need to do for me to be able to stay as a student. And they made arrangements, and I was able to get, my permit. And after getting that, I felt this peace because I'm legally allowed to stay. So if you see an immigration officer, you don't need to be scared. You know that you have the right to be in this country. So at least I have a fair idea of what Charlie is saying. It's not fair anywhere in the world if you're an illegal immigrant. You see, the thing is, they know each other. They might have a language they speak. They might have an accent they use. So when you talk, they know you're a foreigner. So when you are being asked certain questions and you can't defend it, you'll be deported. That is just the truth, because they feel like, yeah, you don't belong here. So it's better for you to enter the right way. If anything should happen, you have papers to show that, yes, I'm legally allowed to be here. That peace will be there. It's just like you driving without a license. Anytime you see a police officer, you're afraid that maybe he or she will ask for your license. But the best thing is do the right thing, no matter the cost. You see, if what you're doing is wrong, no matter how you polish it, it's still wrong. So if you're doing the right thing, that inner peace alone is something that you can't compare to anything, because now you feel excited. You feel like, yes, I think I belong. This is beautiful coming from Charlie. And I just feel like Charlie don't care about your feeling. What he's preaching is fact. You see, he's telling you this is the right thing to do. If we are to do it, let's do it well. And I think I respect him for that. Even if he's not originally from the United States, but at least his grandparents did the right thing, and now he's reaping from that right thing. I would not advise parents to give out their children with hope of a better life. I would advise you to do the right thing, bringing your children on board. Because in my church in Nigeria, there's this boy, I think it was around maybe 2008, 2007. He left the country. I think he went to Italy, based on what we heard. But ever since then, we've not seen him again. No one knows how he's doing. Someone just told the parents that, oh, there is an opportunity and this and this. And the parents gave the child away. And up to now, we don't know. We've been praying for the boy, to find his way home. We don't know. The parents have lost communication with the boy because of hope of a better life. It's really bad. If you can't take care of these children, then don't bring them on board. If you bring them on board, then try your best, because we are here today because our parents sacrificed. Our parents did what they could to take care of us. This is a beautiful one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If it is the first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remember, bless.